right. Okay, folks, it's June 4th, 2023, 7 o'clock on the West Coast, Sunday night session. You already know what it is. It's an absolute pleasure. It's a blessing, this opportunity that we have here tonight to break down, decode, and understand the current events, cryptocurrency, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. We have a lot to cover. I titled this session, David's Dream Scenario for XRP. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go through the current events, what's happening with this market right now. Big week ahead, and this month of June is going to be absolutely massive. At the time of this recording, 7 o'clock on the West Coast Sunday night, markets in Asia are going to be opening up, and you're starting to see some movement here. XRP back up 53, touched 54 cents here briefly. We're going to take a look at that, but we got a full update for you guys tonight, so thank you for tuning in. A couple things to mention. We are having our next meetup for the Discord group in 2 weeks. And so we are going to be doing that. If you guys are in the Discord group, make sure you guys get in touch with us. It's a little late notice, but we are having the next meetup. Really looking forward to that. And then the other thing to be made aware of is the next Saturday, next week here on our weekly call, we're going to be having our update in the real estate asset class. Very critical, very crucial. My good friend Johnny going to be coming in and breaking down the real estate asset class. Someone who's a veteran in the space, been doing deals for decades, someone who's still making it cash flow, still making it make sense in the real estate asset class, which is so critical because we're going to be pulling together our money in the Discord group over the next couple years as we pull together, creating our own private equity funds to move on business opportunities, to move on real estate. And the other thing that we're looking at too is DeFi and tokenizing the XRP Ledger. Big opportunities. And it's just an absolute blessing to see the community continue to grow, people getting into our group that are eager to invest alongside myself and our community as we take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's all on my website, ZachRector.com. I appreciate you guys, and you guys can also get your precious metals over there too. Whether you want them sent directly to you or you want to roll over your 401k, you know the deal. It's at my website, ZachRector.com. Let's get right on into the update tonight, guys. It's absolutely moving, and we're talking about XRP. We got Bitcoin at 27,000, Ethereum at 1884, staying there, staying stagnant, while XRP is ready to surpass USDC, actually, to take the 5 spot. The overall market caps here, I'll show you guys this. You guys can see XRP closely behind USDC coin. 28.9 billion is the market cap for USDC, and 27.7 billion is what we're at for XRP. We were up above 28 billion back when XRP was at 54 cents. And so you can see this thing moves quickly. We're about $1 billion away from surpassing USDC coin. This market is starting to move for XRP. You guys see this chart breaking out back above 50 cents. We absolutely love to see it. I put out my little TikTok. We got 50 Cent in the club, playing, bumping. The vibes are incredible. But is this going to be short-lived? You guys know me. No one's more bullish on the future of XRP long term, but we've always been watching out for them to shake us up. We know the XRP community has had to go through 2 years of a lawsuit, and you start to see XRP's volatility show right before we get big market moves. That happens time and time again. XRP will front run, separate from the pack, and then the whole space gets cleaned out. We got some interesting stuff to break down in tonight's episode that you guys understand how to survive and thrive this opportunity that we're now going through, watching XRP, our anticipation, our excitement, making sure that we don't FOMO, but we stick to our fundamental investment thesis, strategies, and program that are going to keep us tapped in and staying sane through all of the chaos that's taking place. Let's get right on into it, guys. First article of the night, we're going to go right here to Wall Street Silver. Check it out. As depositors leave the banking system, money market funds have witnessed massive weekly cash inflows. As the first quarter come to a close, assets held by money market mutual funds surged to 5.6 trillion, representing a record high. So Americans pulled out $472 billion out of U.S. banks in 3 months as depositors exit in historic numbers. So everybody, including myself, is trying to get liquid, trying to have cash on the sidelines, and we're going to continue to break this down. Now, I did want to highlight this. It is interesting to see, and I wanted to make the point, guys. This isn't on the political point. This is on the power being in the people and with the way that you choose to spend your money. Voting with your dollars, it's a powerful thing, whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you disagree, whether you're offended, whether you want to identify as whatever you want. I'm not here to debate that. I'm here to show you how powerful the people can be. Anheuser-Busch now down $27 billion. Go woke, you will go broke. And this is what happens time and time again. We're seeing it play out here. Not one brick thrown, not one highway blocked, not one building burned. Well done, everyone. And I'm not here to get on the politics tonight, but what I am here to say is that when you exit the US dollar for silver, when you exit it for XRP, you're moving into the new financial system. You're voting with your money, and you have power right there within the people. We have power by voting with our dollar. And many people, including myself, we've been exiting the current system. We only keep what we have in the current system to pay our bills, to pay our businesses. And that's why you see a record outflow of money out of the banks. It's moving into money markets. And this is getting interesting here as we have about $1 trillion problem, is they're going to be dumping about $1 trillion worth of bonds on the market this week. So we're going to get into that into a second here. But what we see here, another one from Wall Street Silver. For the past 2 weeks, retailers have been warning of impending recession. So when you look closely, when you go shop at some of these stores, you can see the sales that are going on relatively slowed down. And this is supposed to be during the boom when places like Home Depot and others should be actually doing really well. But they are sounding the alarm. And when the retailers are sounding the alarm, you know it's getting tight out there. So Home Depot, Costco, Macy's, Advanced Auto Parts, and even Dollar General consider what happens to consumer sentiment during recession. Today's bulls believe that it will improve. And so what we're talking about, what we're looking at right now, the market's moving back up for the stocks, right? I'm not talking about XRP. I'm talking about the stocks started to move back up based off this debt ceiling deal getting passed. And the bulls are back. They think this is great. A lot of folks. And the underlying thing that I've seen here with everyone who speaks bullish right now on this debt ceiling deal is they're saying this shows that Congress can get together. And I'm thinking, yeah, get together and sell out the American people and our children's future. If you consider that a good thing, yeah, they're getting together, selling out our future. That's fantastic. Continuing to destroy the value of our dollar. But the markets are back up. People are getting bullish. And the underlying thing here is they all own stocks, right? They either have their 401ks in the stocks or they're a young person getting started and they're used to the last 2 years being able to sit at home and being able to trade stocks and making some money. And so now the markets and Main Street is in denial. Right, the retailers are finally starting to talk about it. We've been sounding the alarm for 2 years. We called it last year. We met the technical definitions of a recession. We didn't care who we offended. We wanted the American people, we wanted our listeners to be tapped in and understand and prepared that yes, this is a recession, and yes, inflation is not going away. So now we're starting to see it. The mainstream media admitting that there's flaws in this current setup, and everyone's celebrating the most recent victory. Right, is the debt ceiling deal. But what's good for politicians, what's good for politics and what's good for the markets is going to be fatal to the US dollar. And that's what we need to understand as we invest and watch during these times. Now, you guys see this explained well by Ben Rickard right here. When a central bank that's not part of the branches of government artificially supports the entire bond market and by extension Wall Street and the entire banking system with currency created out of thin air, that is a form of socialism for the top 10%. As I highlight, they teach socialism in the schools now without telling the kids that what we have right now is crony capitalism. We don't have true free markets. The government's getting involved in every aspect of our lives and getting in the way of any real entrepreneurs, any real capitalists that are just out there to solve problems, bring value to the marketplace. They have the red tape, the regulators that have been weaponized against the American people. And this is all part of the grand plan, the grand agenda. Call it Agenda 2030. There's a host of other ones, the Great Reset, the plan, the program, Mr. Biden as our president. They have a year and a half now to put the final nails in the coffin of the US dollar with their agenda in full force, no cap on the debt ceiling, full force with their agenda. And it's the death of the United States dollar. And the morons are cheering the fact that our politicians have gotten together and compromised selling out our future. It is ridiculous. And people need to understand that just because you have a compromise here, you have a victory, we've avoided default. We have not avoided the inevitable default of the United States and the resetting of the US dollar. Eventually, this has to be addressed. And so this is what we continue to break down here is the fact that we have this central bank propping up every asset class, artificially supporting the bond market. And right now, this is what I'm talking about. The Treasury is about to dump $170 billion worth of Treasury bonds on the market on Monday. So just on Monday, we're going to dump $170 billion worth of Treasury bonds on the market. Who wants our T-bills? Who wants our bonds? There are some people that will. What's the price going to have to be? The price is going to have to be pretty good, right? As we see inflation about 5%, according to the CPI lie, the price is going to have to be pretty good on that bond for us to get anybody to buy that. And when people don't show up to buy it, well, the Fed's going to be there to backstop. And so this is why folks are getting ready. They're in money markets, and this actually could spur on the next bank run. This right here could spur the next bank run. I'm going to show you guys this article right here from Bloomberg so you guys can see what I'm talking about. $1 trillion Treasury vacuum coming for Wall Street rally. The Wall Street rally that we've been experiencing here is going to be very short-lived. Post-deal supply surge will rumble through stocks to credit. Already eroded liquidity set to shrink by $1 trillion, and this is according to JP Morgan. With a debt ceiling deal freshly signed into law Saturday by President Joe Biden, the U.S. Treasury is about to unleash a tsunami of new bonds to quickly refill its coffers. This will be yet another drain on dwindling liquidity as bank deposits are ready to pay for it, and Wall Street is warning that markets aren't ready. And so as we started out, a record amount of people pulling their money out of the bank, putting it into money market. There are going to be a lot of people that actually do buy these bonds. And so what you're about to see here is another bank run setup. I don't know who's going to fail next. I don't know, who if the Treasury Department's going to come in with the FDIC, Janet, Notel, and Yellen, and they're all going to come in and backstop the next regional bank to fail. But this is the setup where people are pulling their money out. They're moving it into precious metals. They're moving it into XRP and cryptocurrencies. They're moving it into money market funds. They're buying these, $1 trillion worth of bonds that are about to get dumped on the market. $170 billion that's getting dumped on the market tomorrow. This is going to cause potentially another bank run. And this is actually going to bring the markets back down again, in my opinion. I think that what we're seeing right now is short-lived. But remember, XRP is in its own reality, and we'll talk about XRP at the end of this session. Now, my mentor, Dan Pena, he told me, and he said very vocally, that there was going to be trillionaires made in Russia during this transfer of wealth. And he said, it's not safe, right? There's a war going on, and nobody likes that. Nobody wants the war. We're praying for peace, obviously, with all those points. You guys know that deal. But he said there's going to be trillionaires made in Russia. And I'm thinking, okay, the crazy old man saying some more nonsense, just off his rocker. Sure enough, you guys are seeing it right now. Russia now controls at least $12.4 trillion worth of Ukraine's energy, metal, and mineral deposits, report says. So I'm not saying whether this isn't good, this isn't bad. I'm not picking a side here. I'm not saying Putin's our savior. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just here to say that once again, my mentor Dan Pena is tapped in, and you are seeing the transfer of wealth is here, and it's undeniable, and it is valued in the trillions. We're not just making memes. I'm not just making clickbait. The Russians have now acquired $12 trillion worth of natural resources in the Ukraine region. Now, furthermore, to reiterate the point, comparing what's taking place here in the West with the woke agenda, with that program, and how is that working out for us, versus what's taking place over here in Russia and some of the other countries as well. Check out this tweet from Kim.com. Here are the facts, whether you love them, whether you hate it, whether it offends you. Here are the facts. U.S. national debt, $32 trillion. U.S. loss in Ukraine, $150 billion and counting. We just sent another $300 million recently, even before we signed the debt ceiling deal. We had to make sure that we sent off another check to Ukraine. So we have national debt at $32 trillion, and we've had a loss of $150 billion and counting just in Ukraine. Remember, we wasted trillions in the Middle East as well. Russia national debt is $426 billion, and Russia gains in Ukraine $12.4 trillion. U.S. total debt, $96 trillion. And if you add up all the unfunded liabilities, you are well over 100, potentially some people say $200 trillion of unfunded liabilities for the United States. Meanwhile, natural resources value by country. And this is what I've been saying too. Kim.com says, you're bankrupt, Secretary Blinken, who is the defense secretary, Secretary Antony Blinken. He says, you're bankrupt, sit down. And that's what I've been saying. No matter whether you want to support the Ukraine, no matter what program you want to support, I keep on saying, we are bankrupt. There's no more programs. We have to cut. And nobody wants to do that on their watch. The politicians don't have no backbone. They want to get reelected. Nobody wants to bite the bullet on their watch. But what are we doing here? We've got a cover up that's taking place. We got some serious operations that were taking place in this country, and we are losing ground, right? They want more backing. Some of the Rhino Republicans are trying to send some more backing, more weapons, more military for Ukraine. But meanwhile, Russia has already captured right here. This is pretty incredible, folks. $12.4 trillion of commodities captured. And this is what they're going to back the new system by as well. So whether it's good, whether you support this country, that country, we continue to pray for peace, and then we just continue to break down the situation, facts over feelings. Natural resources value by country. Russia at $75 trillion. The old man, Dan Pena, wasn't just falling off his rocker talking crazy talk. You know, and he said that he ain't trying to go to Russia to do deals right now. But if you're willing to go head towards the gunfire, right? $75 trillion. This transfer of wealth is underway, and it's happening in real time. China at $23 trillion. United States, $45 trillion in second place. Saudi Arabia, $34 trillion, number 3. Number 4 is Canada. And that's the interesting thing. Shout out to my Canadians. You guys are sitting on so much wealth in your commodities. I mean, I'd love to see you guys get opened up and ran a little bit more of a free market capitalist economy up there. You guys got your own program up there, and you guys got a little bit stronger beer. Shout out to the Canadians. But you guys are sitting on vast amount of resources, $33 trillion. And then you have Iran at number 5 spot, $27 trillion. China, number 6, $23. Brazil, $21. Australia, $19. Iraq, and Venezuela. Natural resources value by country. But the transfer of wealth is underway, and you have to remember, we're going to get into it here shortly. This is what they're backing the new system by, is these commodities. $75 trillion, and Russia's already gained $12.4 trillion. And now, folks, this is from Market Insider too, by the way. This isn't just someone throwing out a claim or trying to, throw something out there. This is being reported here by Market Insider that Russia now controls at least $12.4 trillion worth of Ukraine's energy. Incredible. Now let's get into the real estate. Couple points here. In the United States, we have investors' purchases 49% fewer homes year over year in Q1, a $24 billion drop for investor purchases of homes in the United States. They maintained 18% of market share, which is relatively high. Around 1 in 7 of their homes sold at a loss in March. And so you can see on this chart here, national real estate investor purchases falling off a cliff. $24 billion less than where we were at last year during the peak. So we are waking up. Real estate is having to accept the new reality, and you're seeing markets like this that are absolutely getting smacked. Lance Lambert, the most interesting housing market in America, Austin, Texas. During the 2000s housing crash, it took Austin 43 months to fall 8.5% peak to trough. 43 months to fall 8.5%. This time around, Austin has fallen 10% in just 9 months. This real estate asset class is one that we are going to continue to talk about. We're going to move into it in a major way. You guys know that I got my cash on the sidelines so that I can buy my first house for my family, but we're also starting up the investment portfolio as well. We're watching cash on the sidelines, capital we are accumulating and getting ready to deploy. We are aligning ourselves and partnering up with experts in the space, veterans who have been doing this for decades. And that's my good friend Johnny, who's going to be hosting a real estate update next Saturday's weekly call. You guys can get tapped in if you want by going to my website, sign up for your Patreon, and get access to Discord group. And you can come in this Saturday. We're going to be talking real estate with someone who's doing deals and making it happen, and his deals are still cash flowing. And we're still making it work. While we see markets starting to fold over, while we see a lot of investors leaving the space, and this is something that I've talked about, right, is that you had a lot of people calling themselves real estate investors. You had a lot of people putting hashtag entrepreneur in their bio, hashtag boss babe in their bio. Just because you call yourself a boss babe doesn't mean your business cash flows. And we're finding that reality out rather quickly. Some of these cities that were high-flying, speculative, cyclical markets getting absolutely smacked and brought back down to reality. I'm seeing that in the Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Seattle, couple markets that have absolutely been taking a beating so far. Long ways to go too. We're ready to move in on this. Really excited about this. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Sunday session. If you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up for me. God bless you guys. Okay, let's get into it though, guys. We have some good news. Excuse me. We have some good news for you, okay? There are a good few men and women in Congress trying to pass something that will actually help us out here. We have Representative Mike Flood here. My first bill passed in the House last night, and it happened with bipartisan support. The Equal Opportunity for All Investors Act of 2023 provides a pathway for Americans to become accredited investors by allowing individuals seeking status to an examination which will be established by the SEC and administered by FINRA. And he says, quote, "It is my firm belief that the accredited investor definition should not be tied exclusively to wealth. Instead, we should unlock opportunities for knowledgeable investors that may not come from means." And, you know, that is the opportunity that we're hoping for. On the other side, you have Gary Gensler that wants to raise accreditation standards to net worth of $10 million. Right now, it's $1 million of net worth, or I think 200,000 of income for 2 consecutive years to become an accredited investor. And this is the opportunity. This is why folks like me and others in the group, we can't buy Ripple pre-IPO stock shares right now because we're not accredited. We don't, we haven't been making 200,000 plus a year for 2 years, or we don't have a net worth of $1 million. And I'm working my ass off to make my accreditation. And I would love to see something like this come through to where I could just take a damn test or what. I mean, think about this. I don't need the government to protect me. I have financial advisors across the world tuning into this channel, but yet I can't invest my own money in businesses and opportunities that I see fit. It's completely upside down, and they have no problem letting you go down to the casino, buying your scratch tickets, investing in all these meme coins. In fact, we'll drop the conspiracy point here. They did allow an Ethereum free pass token factory to get generated and create tens of thousands of tokens on top of the Ethereum free pass monopoly Ponzi scheme. And they allowed Sam Bankman-Fried and others to operate some of the biggest money laundering operations right under their nose, right? But then they want to protect us investors and keep us out of pre-IPO investment opportunities. It's an absolute shame, and it's absolutely ridiculous that Gary Gensler and others think that we should raise the accreditation standards to $10 million. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I hope that they do get this passed. That is what we like to see. And then I wanted to share this one from Meta Lawman. This is important right here, folks. He suggests a modest proposal to reform the SEC. And we just got a new bill, the draft Digital Assets Bill, released yesterday by Congressman Patrick McHenry, French Hill, and Congressman GT Glenn Thompson, presents a golden opportunity to begin to reform the SEC and rein in its tendency for regulatory overreach. Here's how. See, we got to stop this weaponized regulatory environment. And it's not just for crypto, but obviously we're taking the brunt of it here in the crypto space. And he says, amend the bill to say, quote, "At the conclusion of every litigated SEC case, the court shall determine which party is the prevailing party. If the court determines that the defendant is the prevailing party, then the SEC shall pay all attorney fees incurred by that defendant." So, i.e., if Ripple defeats the SEC and Ripple is the prevailing party, the SEC should be paying attorney fees incurred by that defendant. And he says that exact example. This would mean that if Ripple were to prevail in its case with the SEC would be required to reimburse Ripple its $200 million in legal fees. If the SEC loses, why should they be able to just shrug and move on after inflicting such enormous damage on a defendant? Now, as we've been talking about, a lot of people are now asking the question that we've been asking for months, well over a year now. What are the damages? And we keep our documents, we keep our conversations going in a little red folder, and we talk to lawyers and we talk to experts in the financial world, in the banking world, on the damages that have actually been done here. I would love to see this bill passed, but the point that needs to be made here is now you're starting to see everybody come around to ask, what are the damages? And we come back to the red folder and we come back to the buyback. And we say, guys, this is what we've been trying to say this whole time. Thank you for putting on the big boy pants, coming to the adult conversation where we do talk with lawyers on how to protect our assets. You bet. It's not about a buyback. It's about having an insurance policy. It's about making our claims, making them early, loud, and often, because damages have been done. Our SEC has been weaponized. $200 million is the damages and the fees incurred to the lawyers for Ripple. $15 billion was wiped out from the market cap. Countless other situations and examples could be used to assess even further damages and claims to be made past that. Something has to be done, right? Now, I would love to see us settle up this case, the SEC go away, and it'd all be done, and we'd all be fine and happy. And most likely, XRP's pump would set us free, and we wouldn't care to go back after the SEC, right? All we wanted was a level playing field. But it's so interesting to me to see some of the most biggest haters of our whole buyback committee, right? We have the confidential committee. We just got the valuation paper. Okay, it's been circulated around. I've had a chance to take a glimpse at it, and that's going to be released later this week publicly, okay? So everybody's going to get the final valuation proposal. And honestly, I haven't even seen. I don't know if the final valuation is $5 or $50,000. I don't know what it is. But the reason why we had this whole conversation was to protect our assets against a criminally corrupt mafia SEC government that's supposed to be representing us and supposed to be protecting us. And you have $200 million that Ripple's had to pay. That's a whole nother business they could have bought. They still have cash, so they still went out and bought Medico, right? $250 million. They still have money, so they did a $250 million NFT creator fund. But that $200 million could have gone towards advancing the XRP Ledger, towards advancing humanity. But our government, in their infinite wisdom and in their moral corruption at the highest levels, decided to weaponize their agency and start attacking innovators in the space of digital assets. Ripple was about to put a dent in the universe, and they were ready to impact all 7.5 billion people, and that's why they had to weaponize and attack and put the crosshairs on Ripple first, so that their buddies at JP Morgan and Wall Street could try to catch up. The damages are much more than $200 million in legal fees to Ripple. The damages are much more than $15 billion that was wiped out in market cap. The damages could potentially be hundreds of billions of dollars, and I would even suggest trillions of dollars. Because if XRP would have been able to experience the last bull run free and clear, who knows where it could have gone. And so we are talking about hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars worth of damages just by this action done by the SEC. That's not on any 50K BS. So don't hit me with that. I'm not here for a 50K buyback. Okay? I'm here to make my claims early, loud, and often and understand how to protect my assets against a criminally corrupt government. It's very simple. And I'm glad that the haters are finally putting on their big boy pants and showing up to the adult table and they're thinking, oh, crap. There has been some damage done here. We have been wronged. It's not about getting the Fed to buy it back for 50K. Okay? And so the valuation paper is going to be coming out this week. I am going to be covering it. I still get haters in the comments. Oh, didn't you push the buyback? What about the buyback, bro? We haven't gone anywhere. We're still been working. They've been working diligently. I really have no part other than I've just covered it because I think it's important. And I've highlighted that. And I get called a scammer. And I took a whole lot of crap for just talking about this. But I knew it was the right thing to do. And we're finally getting vindicated. And you guys are going to see the Hinman emails. And we're going to see this corruption get exposed. Now, who knows? I'm not going to be holding my breath to see Bill Hinman charged. I'm not going to be holding my breath for a class action lawsuit against the SEC. I don't want to have to go there, right? I just want this case to settle up. I want the level playing field, set us free, and we'll take care of the rest. We have a massive amount of utility coming to the XRP Ledger, and I'm about to show you guys that next. Now, I see that we did get a super chat. Someone made it rain a 20 spot. That's from MC Prosperity. I get excited when I see the red folder. Thanks for all you do. I get excited too, brother. My friend, I mean, for those that didn't get it, I hope that now they get it. And I know I kind of snap back, but that's because I've taken a whole lot of crap and literally been called a scammer. People suggesting, oh, you want us to send your XRP to Val Hill? Absolutely not. That's never what it was about. And the influencers who pushed those lies and peddled that BS know exactly who they are. And now they're the same ones that are coming around and asking, what are the damages? You're a little bit late, but we're glad to have you finally join us for the adult conversation. But with that being said, guys, the valuation paper is coming out this week. I will be covering it, okay? And we probably will be getting Jimmy Valley back on the show. Fair warning. I know he triggers some people, okay? But he's an American patriot, and he's trying to protect not just XRP holders, but the American people. Just like John Dean, just like all these other lawyers like Fred Rispoli that have filed the class action lawsuits against Coinbase, that have filed the actions against Jay Clayton and the SEC. These are the guys that are stepping up and leading us in that legal battlefield, and it's so important. I wish it didn't have to be this way. Our government wanted to come after us. They just underestimated how powerful the XRP army was going to be. God bless all of you guys. Our time is coming right now, guys. We are here. Now, let's get into it, folks. We have an atomic wallet hack underway. Look out, folks. Another one from Martin Hesbook, and he's from Uphold. He's the head of research at Uphold, okay? The atomic wallet hack of this weekend was one of the biggest hacks in the history of crypto, again proving my conviction that we are far away from feasible decentralized finance. DeFi, we need to solve the cybersecurity problem first. And I would agree. Before we can get mass adoption, before we can get institutions to deploy trillions of dollars of capital, we got to secure these assets first. He says, with centralized exchanges collapsing and unhosted wallets being hacked, the obvious choice is responsible, transparent platforms with 24/7 cybersecurity operations like Uphold. The losses from the atomic wallet hack so far. And so what is this? This is hundreds of thousands million. So we have $2 million worth of ETH, $5 million worth of ERC20 tokens, $1 million worth of Bitcoin, $3.8 million worth of Tether. Or is that a Tron 20? I don't even know what that is. And we have about $314,000 worth of XRP. 594,000 XRP have been stolen from this hack. So folks, I got links in my website for the EliPal Titan wallet. That is one of the affiliates that we have, along with an affiliate link for Uphold. So if you guys are looking to go buy your XRP, I've been buying from Uphold. They're getting the job done. They are secure. Now, as far as storage, I always have options, okay? I don't keep all my crypto in one spot. I got my options. I got hot, I got cold, I got here, there, buried locations, all sorts of sophistication in the strategy for security. But at the most basic level, folks, what I would recommend is at least getting set up on as many exchanges as that you can tap in so that you have options, and then getting the wallets that you feel comfortable with. We need to be looking, and we're watching here closely now. This is top of mind for everyone. Another hack underway, millions of dollars worth of crypto that is lost. Very unfortunate, but this is a time right now where, folks, before crypto goes and we're lost in the chaos, we need to secure our cryptos. We need to secure our bags right now. And so I'm watching. Uphold just launched their Vault platform, right? It's going to be launched. XRP community gets early access. And so, you know, I do think that there is an advantage, because when you get an exchange like this, he has a point in the fact that they have 24/7 cybersecurity operations at Uphold. Does that mean that I would put 100% of my bag there? Absolutely not. I don't put 100% of my bag anywhere. And I would recommend the same thing for you guys. You know, I'm not here to give you financial advice. I just show you guys what I am doing. Now we see Desert Vibes drops a 10 spot. This is long overdue. Thank you for all the insight you have provided over the last 1.5 years. Desert Vibes, I appreciate that support, guys. I know there's been so many of you guys that have been writing with us for over 2 years now, about 2.5 years now that we've been making content. What a journey, what a blessing, this opportunity. I didn't think that I'd have this long to help wake people up, to pull people on board the train, and we're still doing it, and we're going to be fighting till that final flip of the switch moment takes us into the quantum financial system, and we're looking behind and we say, sorry, we're gone. We had to leave you here. We were on board and we left you, and we tried to warn you, and we're saving as many people as we can. So 2.5 years into making content, what a journey, and it's coming full circle right now, guys. Our opportunity right here that we have over the next 1.5 years is truly incredible. I'm going to break this down here in just a second. We got to get through the rest of our crypto news here. We have this news right here. Important. This is a very, very important update, guys, for the XRP Ledger. This is massive. So this one from Wojak. Important announcement to all. The XRP Ledger ecosystem will have a new separate ledger that will have XRP as its native asset. More on this thread. Now, he is talking about the Hooks sidechain that is going to be created by XRPL Labs. That's Vitze Vin. They is the creator of the Zum wallet, right? And so what they're launching here, the Hooks sidechain, is a separate ledger powered by the XRP Ledger consensus protocol with the Hooks amendment enabled. So basically, it's going to be a smart contracts XRP ledger. It's a side chain though. It will introduce a unique line of features, applications, and opportunities to grow that are practically non-existent on the XRPL. With hooks, developers are able to build and deploy a variety of products and features without needing to push changes directly on Rippled. So as it stands right now, when someone wants to make a change to the XRP Ledger, right, they have to suggest a proposal, right? They have to push for a change directly on the Rippled code. That's what it's called, Rippled, okay? Which may take up months to even show up on the network for voting. So these take a long time. And what this is going to allow is for someone to build out an app, to build out a platform, to do whatever they want on this sidechain right away and to be able to test it, right? And then they're going to be able to bring that to the mainnet as well. But here's what's important. Vitae in creating this separate sidechain to the XRP ledger, the native currency for this ledger is still going to be XRP, the XRP that me and you hold in our wallets. This is amazing. The rate of research and development on the XRP ecosystem will skyrocket, and this is what we've been waiting for. Devs, teams, and enterprises are able to jump into the Hook sidechain and do research and development straight to it, as the underlying network is very, very similar to the main net. The interface is the same, the ledger framework is the same, the consensus protocol is the same. Teams are able to leverage hooks and expand their line of products in a flexible manner, allowing them to introduce new income streams in ways never before seen on the main net. The more good hooks there are on the network, the better it is for everyone. We will grow. Of course, users are able to leverage hooks and expand their application of the XRP ledger, giving them the opportunity to extract more value from the network in a friendly way, and in turn, making XRP more than just an over-marketed gas token. That's right. The same XRP that we hold is going to be the native currency, the native token for this sidechain. With hooks, Evernode and other solutions on top of the Hook sidechain with the underlying network and its native asset XRP will have natural demand as the network develops in terms of its applications, user base, and liquidity. We will see natural adoption and development here, no BS. While a hook has its limited capabilities, Evernode will be launching right after the network. Evernode is a layer 2 smart contract solution that is super flexible and powerful. Evernode dApps are able to connect or interact with off-chain systems. It can compute, store, provide anything. With hooks, Evernode, and solutions atop of the Hook sidechain, each dev team enterprise will be able to grow independently. New apps, new income streams, new protocols, new ways, honest ways. And that's what we've been missing this whole time for the XRP ledger. This will be written in the books. This is natural evolution backed by consensus. To end this thread, I'd like to say that there is always room for improvement, room for collaboration, room for support. The Hook sidechain will be maintained and developed in a truly supportive, direct, and good faith manner. That is my standard. And golly, this is absolutely what we've been waiting for, folks. This is massive. This is going to allow all the devs, all the businesses to test out on a version of the XRP ledger using XRP, smart contracts, apps, all these different platforms that they're going to build out, all these new businesses that me and you are going to build out. This is what I'm so excited for. And this is the next phase of my operation, is not just figuring out how to make more content, but actually figuring out how to build businesses around these liquidity pools, automated market makers, around tokenizing assets, tokenizing businesses. This is a $1 trillion opportunity for all of us to tap into, and we're finally seeing it come to the XRP ledger. This is what we've been waiting for, guys, and this utility is going to drive demand for XRP all the way. You guys know that. BIS, we got to talk about it. Elaine Diane Taylor put out an interesting little tweet right here. The Bank of International Settlements, also known as the Central Bank of Central Banks, the BIS tip-top leader, did 3 speeches in the last few months. Unusual. BIS website has posted 18,651 speeches since 1997. Suddenly, 3 back-to-back speeches with the exact same never-before-used phrase. Quote, "Fiat money is an asset with no intrinsic value." You don't say. Why? Well, we're going to continue in the thread. Why say that over and over when it's never been said before? Why suddenly go on in many recent speeches about how fiat and the central bank system relies on trust, when there's no longer trust in any fiat or in the central bank system? I think they'll roll out their new private central bank money, CBDCs, backed by things of value like gold and a basket of commodities and currencies. They then can tell the public to use CBDCs because, hey, fiat, government money, has no intrinsic value, so trust us. Central banking system can currently only control demand by suggesting nation central banks raise or lower interest rates. As we often talk about, right? That's the only lever that they really get to pull. Central banks need to also control supply side of money to stay in power. They keep repeating this in speeches. And so, folks, what we're seeing right now is the BIS running multiple test pilots in the background, right? But why are they now saying statements like this that are so bold, that take away and literally take away everything that these central banks stand on by saying that fiat money is an asset with no intrinsic value? And so, as we've been talking about, he who has the gold makes the rules. He who has the commodities is going to run the new financial system. A huge shout out to brother Dex there in the chat, 10 spot. Remember to be patient. The bull trap will peak, then decline. This will likely be due in part to commercial real estate collapse and more remote workers. Default probability is very high in commercial real estate. Some commercial real estate down 70 to 80% already. You guys are seeing that, and it is truly incredible. Now, I have another one here. We have this one. This is from Ian Binns, and an article was circulating around over the weekend. HSBC acknowledges XRP Ledger as game changer for cross-border payments. Now, Ian Binns reminds us, he says, never forget Chris Larson, right, who was the, chief executive, board of directors at Ripple. Very proud to be part of this and helping to steer. Executive chairman and co-founder of Ripple. Very proud to be part of this and helping to steer HSBC's strategy for cybersecurity and fintech innovation. This is years ago, right? Chris Larson sitting on the board right here, okay? And now we see the HSBC and their white papers acknowledging the XRP Ledger as a game changer. We move on over to this next one. This one from ISO 222, let's do it. Ripple would replace current settlement system for funds transfers if widely adopted, plus Federal Reserve would still enforce regulation, plus SWIFT can easily be integrated into Ripple as well. So this is highlighting Ripple right here, and it says Ripple Labs is one of the few companies innovating at the very bottom of the payment stack, focused on providing a free real-time settlement infrastructure for the world. Now, I like what it says right here. Ripple Labs is not itself consumer facing and is not a provider of financial services or a custodian of funds. Now, this is old, right? Because now we have Medico. Now we will be providing custody of funds, right? And as far as the financial services and the DeFi, that's all coming to the XRP Ledger as well. And I'm sure that Ripple's working on their own liquidity pools, automated market makers, and others. Instead, the technology provides an alternative rail for financial services, payments, and retail companies that build consumer merchant interfacing applications. These companies can leverage Ripple's settlement system to provide customers with a better experience and reduce operational costs. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If widely adopted, Ripple's peer-to-peer decentralized settlement infrastructure would replace the current settlement system for funds transfer. Regulatory bodies like the Federal Reserve will continue to set and enforce regulatory standards. Messaging standards like SWIFT can be easily integrated into Ripple as well. Several networks or clubs of financial institutions may ultimately form on top of Ripple's common settlement protocol. And they say, for example, the North American Clearinghouse Association that governs the ACH network in the US could create standard rules to allow for payment reversibility, compliance, dispute resolution, etc. between member banks on the Ripple network. The same can be true for SEPA region banks in Europe. Now, what's interesting, folks, here is that just in the clearinghouse of the United States, they settle $1.8 trillion daily. That's just within the US. SWIFT obviously does $6 trillion daily. So just between those two, you were talking about $8 trillion of settlement happening daily. Now, this is all fine and dandy, cool white paper, but why did you title this session David's Dream Scenario for XRP? Well, here you have it, and I see we got some massive love in the chat from Christy. God bless you, Christy. Oh my goodness, 20 spot, back-to-back 20 spots from Christy, making it rain over here, showing the love. And if you guys haven't already, please make sure you smash that thumbs up for us as well. So what are we talking about? We're talking about David Schwartz's Dream Scenario. David says, my dream scenario is Swift makes a deal with Ripple where all their banks get to use RippleNet for free, maybe even paying Swift, fits our XRP strategy perfectly. So this is the dream scenario for David Schwarz. And he highlights something that's very interesting right here. They allow networks like Swift, right, groups. And what did it say in the last post here? It says, several networks or clubs of financial institutions may ultimately form on top of Ripple's common settlement protocol. And so they could actually incentivize Swift by paying them. And so this was what was so funny when it came out in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit that Ripple was paying clients like MoneyGram or incentivizing partners like MoneyGram and others to use XRP, and everybody's freaking out. Oh my gosh, the only people that are using XRP are getting paid to use it. It's like, no, you guys are missing the whole point. They are providing incentives for the biggest banks and institutions to use XRP. That's the same XRP that you hold and I hold, and this is what we want. We don't want XRP to just be used by me and you, Joe Blow. I love that we're able to use the XRP Ledger. I think it's going to change our lives, our businesses. It's going to be a big part of the new financial system. But it only is a full success and gets taken to that ultimate goal of putting a dent in the universe, impacting all 7.5 billion people. Obviously, they talk about how Ripple's not a front-facing customer servicing apps and financial services. It's all back end. And so what you're going to see here is incentives given, potentially even paying member banks and institutions like Swift and others, where they say, hey, if you use the XRP Ledger, right, we can help you use it for free or next to nothing, and or maybe even pay you, or maybe even do a pre-allocation contract so that you can acquire 5 billion XRP like R3 was trying to do back in 2016. So you see where this goes? And David Schwarz ain't just dreaming. If you've seen Ripple, if you've seen the progress, when we talk about the train leaving the station, they've left the station and they continue to acquire companies like Medico, the largest NFT creator fund that had been done in the crypto space last year, $250 million. They're still sitting on $1 billion cash. They've already started the Ripple private roadshow, getting ready for that IPO, which is going to be absolutely massive. And Brad Garlinghouse, what did he say? And I'm sorry that we've been making so many videos about the final watch dates for the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Sorry, not sorry. We got to talk about it. Brad Garlinghouse himself said that we could see a resolution or an answer from the judge, not in months, but in weeks. Okay? This is the perfect storm that is coming together for XRP. And so I just want people to understand that when I talk about the rest of the markets and the stocks and everything else, XRP is in its own reality. So when I talk about XRP is able to break free at any point in time, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, people ask me, well, are we going to get one more dip for XRP? Should I wait to buy? The exchanges continue to delist XRP, give us problems. We see wallets and exchanges getting hacked every single day. We see exchanges running out of liquidity. So I'm not waiting around. I haven't waited around. I've stacked a big bag of XRP, and the rest of my cash is on the sideline right now to buy more cryptocurrency and to buy real estate. That's where I'm at. And we are seeing right now, the dream scenario is starting to show itself, right? When you see Ripple acquire a company like Medico, it's a massive deal, guys. Very big deal. Providing custody services. This is other fundamental infrastructure for the new financial system that Ripple has just acquired. But what I wanted to highlight, folks, I made a video here today, and it was called Survive Till 2025. And what was I talking about? I got my sticky notes here. What we have just solidified over the next year and a half is absolutely critical. We talked about it last year when the recession finally came in. And we talked about how the recession's not going away and inflation's not going away. That was just solidified by that debt ceiling deal getting raised. So what this does, this has opened it up. They get to go full force with their agenda for the next year and a half. They have 2 years. Inflation will not go away. It's already starting to get worse again. Recession, finally be it admitted, it's being warned by some of the biggest retailers in the United States. It is here, and you're seeing it. Main Street closing its doors. What you're also seeing is a weaponized regulatory environment or weaponized regulators coming after the American people. We've already been experiencing that in the XRP community. This new budget that they got brings the IRS budget. They brought it back. It was going to be at $80 billion. Now it's only going to be $70 billion, okay? So they're reining it back in some, right? $70 billion for the IRS, though. This is a weaponized regulatory environment against the American people, and it's going to continue for the next 2 years. You also are seeing the internal chaos, right? Inside of the United States, we will continue to see it get crazier, right? It's only going to continue. And then on the world stage, we will continue to be embarrassed. As we saw today, a Chinese warship cut us off out in the open sea, or in the South China Sea, I think is where we're at. And we are being aggressive, right? I'm not saying that America's perfect. We're not. But we're going to continue to get embarrassed on the world stage militarily in the foreign policy aspect of it as well. We have Joe running the show. So internal chaos, external chaos, and getting embarrassed on the world stage. And it's only going to continue the de-dollarization process. So what do we do about it? We have to secure our income, make sure that our job isn't going away, make sure that our business isn't going away. And then if possible, we got to expand the income because inflation's not going away. You're going to need more money, not just to cover your bills, but you're going to want more money to invest in these suppressed assets, right? Now, when it comes to saving money, what do I save? I don't really save cash. I don't really save money. Right now, I have money on the sidelines, cash, ready for real estate. That's capital ready to deploy towards real estate. That's the only reason why it's sitting there. When it comes to a savings account, I'm saving precious metals. I'm saving silver. Not here to give you financial advice, but this is what I'm saving. This is conservative. I just want this to be a hedge and insurance policy against the inflation. It's defense. And then what am I doing? We're going on offense and we're getting liquid for the sell of a lifetime. That is what is coming. That's what I talked about. I put out a quick 3-minute video, Survive Till 2025, where I just covered what I just went over for you guys. What is been solidified for the next 2 years, okay? Inflation, recession, weaponized regulators, internal chaos, continuing to get embarrassed on the world stage, and this will only accelerate the de-dollarization process. What can we do about it? Secure the income, expand the income. We're saving precious metals, and we're getting ready, getting liquid for the sale of a lifetime. Now, that can be coming for our cryptocurrencies as well. If we don't have a resolution in the case, XRP could experience this pullback as well. XRP is not set free. Once we're set free, we enter into a new reality. That can happen at any time. I don't know if that's this week, next week, June, during a full moon, during the next eclipse, next year, 2 years to the Supreme Court. I'm already stacked my bag, so I don't worry about that. But right now, where's my focus going? Getting my capital ready to deploy, buy my first family house. Getting my capital ready to deploy, to buy more businesses, to buy more real estate. The next thing that we're working on right now as well is getting ready to understand liquidity pools, automated market makers coming to the XRP Ledger, and how we can also tokenize other assets and other businesses on the XRP Ledger and maybe some of the other ledgers like XDC as well, so that we can take advantage of this opportunity in every single asset class, the digital asset space, not just holding our crypto, but actually building businesses, actually implementing the technology in our businesses. I was having a one-on-one session with a member today, and we were talking about finding ways. He works at a very big company, finding ways to help that company implement a strategy for digital assets, right? An ability for them to tokenize the current assets that they have on their balance sheet, right? And so as these times get tough, the opportunities are going to present themselves, and the need for someone like you to be the savior. When you approach someone who's ready to turn the key on their business and give it up, you are going to give them an exit. And we're going to do things the right way, right? It's going to be bloody out there. We're going to see blood in the streets, but we're righteously moving in, trying to prepare all of our family and friends and colleagues around us for this opportunity. But we're coming in, and what we're doing in our Discord group, like I said, the next phase of our operation is pulling together our funds in private equity deals for businesses, for real estate, and for also implementing businesses with digital assets as well. That's going to be in the form of liquidity pools. That's going to be in the form of other DeFi ways and NFTs. You're also going to see us implementing digital assets into our existing businesses. That's the next phase of this operation. And so we're going to be pulling our money together. And the beautiful thing is that we've found some partners that are going to be able to help us do this too. So I'm really looking forward to, over the next 2 years, the chaos will continue. Internal, external, we're made fun of. Joe's running the show. It's going to be a joke. It's going to be sad, but we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused and remember that for us, we will survive and we will thrive. And, you know, we're going to try to save as many people as we can, but all we can control is our business, our family, and our day-to-day actions. Right now, we are full throttle to the pedal to the metal, right? Full throttle. And nothing is going to stop us right now from taking advantage of this opportunity. I see that I missed a couple super chats, so let me bring this back. I see we got it. It is raining in the chats. Raining down here. Joe Keaton, 20 spot. Hey, brother, I have my exit strategy in place for the initial pump, but I believe my daily withdrawal limit is 10K on Uphold. That presents some obvious red flags. Do you have any advice on how to navigate this? God bless. This is why I talk about having multiple exchanges. You need multiple options for your on-ramp and multiple options for your off-ramp, right? So you want multiple ways to buy the crypto, multiple ways to sell the crypto. Very simple. And that's why we have relationships built with multiple exchanges. I know some people have talked about Caleb and Brown. Some people have talked about Uphold. I talk about having relationships with everybody, right? We want to conduct the business transactions. We don't become friends with these exchanges. We never trust them 100%, trust but verify, and pray and beg for them to get the transaction to go through when we place our sell orders. Now, since you brought that up, Joe, I do want to talk about my XRP exit strategy real briefly. A lot of people have been hearing me say, I want people to be ready and have their exit strategy ready for XRP in some of my most recent videos, because I'm talking about how we're about to experience a pump for XRP. We're about to go. I don't know if we're going to go to $5, whether we go to $10. I put out a video today, cup and handle pattern from Dark Defender that takes us to 94 cents in 3 weeks. That's fine and dandy. But I want folks to be ready because we don't know when it's going to go. We don't know how high it's going to go, but we can put down our strategy on paper. We're going to sell off a percentage here. We're going to sell a percentage there, or we're going to leverage, lend, stake at these price points. Or what we're building out right now is basically the ability, the platform, the checklist for us to do our due diligence on liquidity pools. Because I promise you, it's just like with the NFTs, it's just like with all of the tokens that came to the XRP Ledger. Just because it's an automated market maker liquidity pool on the XRP Ledger doesn't mean you're not going to get scammed. Doesn't mean you're not going to put your money into a liquidity pool that's a Ponzi scheme. So that's why we're going to be building out our checklist so that as we find these new liquidity pools, we'll be able to go through our checklist, do our due diligence, and apply our capital with conviction, knowing that we've got a sound investment in a sound program going. That's what our exit strategy is about. I say exit strategy, even though it really is a reallocation strategy, because for me, when I talk about exit strategy, guys, I'm only planning on selling like maybe 5 or 10% of my XRP bag ever. But I have price points at which I'm going to feel comfortable, or events and conditions that once they're met, I will feel comfortable leveraging my XRP, right? So I have price points that I would feel comfortable leveraging my XRP at, as long as we've seen some of these other conditions, i.e. going through the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, right? I want to see us through the lawsuit. I want to see regulations. I want to see XRP go through that FOMO pump and then retrace and come back down. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't care if XRP settles at $50 or it settles back down at $5. Once we go through that FOMO pump, once we get set free out of the lawsuit and we come back down and we stabilize, once we stabilize, that's when I'm going to feel comfortable using that as collateral on a loan to go buy more real estate, to go buy businesses. Until then, I'm not playing around with it, right? And the only reason why I'm selling off some portions of my XRP along the way is because I was over leveraged in XRP. I talk about my barbell portfolio, right? We got the barbell, right? You're pumping weights. I don't go to the gym anymore, but maybe some of you guys do, right? Pumping weights. The barbell, it's evened out on both sides. And so for me, I went too heavy into XRP for years. right? And that's why if I sell off 10% of my XRP, I still got a big bag. I still will be fine, right? I'm not selling out. I'm not selling out. Some people suggesting that I'm a government agent because I talk about an exit strategy, right? But you guys have to have perspective, okay? Some folks are 70 years old and they're trying to quit the job. They're trying to buy off their house. Some people got student loan debt. I mean, people have situations, right? And so everyone's going to be different. For me, I need to get back to my barbell portfolio. And so what I'm doing right now is I have my cash on my sidelines for real estate. That's also a conservative play for me. And my precious metals, also a conservative play. That's my conservative side of the barbell portfolio. On the more riskier side, we went all in on XRP for years. And the last 2 years during the lawsuit, I didn't think that I was going to have another 2 years to accumulate XRP, right? So when I first developed this strategy, I had like half the XRP that I do now, right? We've way doubled up the bags in the last 2 years. God willing, thank you. Thank you. What an amazing opportunity, okay? But I wanted to be clear because a lot of people were like, why are you talking about XRP exit strategy? I thought you had so much conviction. I do. I'm keeping about 90% of my bag forever until I see conditions that will change that exit strategy. That's what I'm sticking to. The other thing that I've pointed out too is that I'm not even expecting to have liquidity at these exchanges when XRP goes to $10 and I try to place my first sell order. I'm not even expecting the sell order to go through. I think these exchanges will be crashed. I think the liquidity won't be there. But if it is, hey, amen. We'll take some profits off the table, right? So I just wanted to make that point since you brought up the exit strategy, Joe, and I'll be putting out a separate video updating my XRP exit strategy in more depth. Charles Looney with the 50 spot, Charles. That's big. Charles, thank you, brother. 50. Zach, thank you for doing what you do, brother. The Rector Nation loves you. I appreciate you, man. Love it. Dex, another 10 spot. Economic collapse, liquidity crisis meltdown, including stock market crash, hyperinflation, stagflation combined. Ripple will thrive as on-demand liquidity becomes mission critical. It's a national security mission, isn't it, Dex? It's a national security situation that we have underway here. Absolutely. Now, with that being said, guys, I just want to reiterate. The next 2 years, we have solidified the chaos, the destruction of the dollar, and you're going to continue to see the de-dollarization process continue. For me, like I said, I'm saving silver. I don't own any gold right now, but gold another valuable precious metal for a hedge and insurance policy against inflation and against what they're going to do over the next 2 years. Now, for me, I'm saving this, right? I'm saving my cash, ready to deploy on real estate, and then I've already got my cryptocurrency bags packed. Right. So right now we're riding out the storm. We're staying focused and locked in on our businesses. How do we stack up as much capital right now so we can get ready to deploy it for the sale of a lifetime? That is the program. Next week, this coming up Saturday is going to be our next weekly call. Every Saturday we have our weekly calls. This one's going to be with Johnny. We're going to be talking about real estate. Next week after that, from 2 weeks from this weekend, we're going to be doing our next Discord meetup. So if you're in the Discord group, make sure you get in here and see if you're in the area. We would love to have you come meet up. We're going to be meeting up with ourselves, and then we're going to be collaborating with the Beyond Broke Mastermind, Jake Claver and Max Avery. We're going to be doing a collab with them along with a separate Discord meetup. So I'm really looking forward to being able to get more members, be able to meet more members of our family in the investment community there. So with that being said, guys, get tapped in right now, stay focused, stay locked in, and you guys know the method, you guys know the program, right? It's very simple. Make sure that you still got the income coming in. From that, you're going to form your budget. You're going to decide how much do I have each month, each paycheck, each week to dollar cost average. If you have capital to deploy, that's a different situation. But right now, we're dollar cost averaging. We're waiting with capital on the sidelines for a sale of a lifetime for the other assets. I'm not waiting for assets like XRP that have already been suppressed, are already in their own stage reality, and they can break out at any point in time. I can't sleep well at night without having my XRP bags packed. So I got it done. Now, precious metals is where I'm diversifying, along with getting very liquid. Everything else is just cash for me right now. Okay. Now, cash is getting devalued, but I need it to deploy. I need it to buy real estate. I need it to buy businesses. So that's the plan. If you want to invest alongside me, that's where the focus of the group is going over the next year. We would love to have you. And I appreciate everyone in this community, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you guys enjoyed this Sunday session, okay? On the way out, let's please smash that thumbs up for me. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. And what do you guys say? How about 15 minutes Q&A? What do you guys say? I got a little second. Let's go 10 minutes Q&A. What are we working with, guys? I got a little bit left in my adult beverage. Might as well, huh? Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you. Next 2 weeks will be interesting, absolutely. Don't forget about Ripple acquiring, working with Agra. Yeah, exactly, Adam. That's another one. I didn't even know about that one. I'll have to look up that one. The other one that they acquired was Bitstamp. They acquired a big stake in Bitstamp. June 6th or 13th. Rashad, I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I had the date. We got dates that we're watching, and this week's going to be, I think, yeah, this month's, we're going to be moving. We're going to be moving quickly. What about investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum now? I have no interest. No interest. Personally, that's not financial advice, but I have no interest. Bitcoin's a relevant technology. It's a relic of the past. It had a role, it had a place, it got it done, it achieved that, but now there's better technology. And then I also think that it has some issues with the proof of work. With Ethereum, it's too dirty. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to deal with it. I think that it's held back humanity. Some people say that's dramatic. Some people say that's a stretch. I don't. I think that Ethereum was part of a free pass monopoly scheme, part of the corruption, that's criminal level corruption at the highest levels of the SEC and other three-letter agencies within our government. And I don't stand for that. I want no part of that. So I won't touch Ethereum. Don't care for it. A few times I've had to use it. It made me just sick. Paying $50 in gas fees to buy. I had to buy Ethereum just so that I could receive NFTs for free. That's how stupid Ethereum is. That's not a program that's going to work. Buy $50 worth of Ethereum so that I can receive an NFT for free. That's not the future of finance. It's not the future of anything. It's just been the only option. But that's all changing. You guys are seeing Hook's amendment coming to the XRP Ledger sidechain. It's going to be absolutely massive. JP Morgan now doing a deal with Ripple. Yeah, so JP Morgan apparently was at the Ripple private roadshow, listening to them talk about the potential for them to IPO this year. It's gonna be massive. It's gonna be massive. I mean, it's like an avalanche, right? Starts with one snowflake. Guys, we already are a massive avalanche. We're a massive snowball rolling down the hill, just getting bigger and bigger. At a certain point, the whole hillside breaks away, and we enter a new reality. And that new reality is being the only cryptocurrency with clarity and a team, an all-star cast at Ripple that has been incentivizing and working with the biggest banks and institutions to use XRP. Okay? It's going to be incredible. All coinciding during the greatest debt, liquidity, and currency crisis that we've had in history. During a transfer of wealth where we already see $12.4 trillion worth of wealth in commodities and energy taken in the Ukraine. See, it's not all going to be pretty. Not everybody's going to make it to the dance. And I hate to make a joke because it's not a joking matter. It's not a laughing matter. It's a real freaking war. And I continue to pray for peace. And I continue to pray that we shut down the operations that were going on in that country. And I pray that we continue to rein back in the military-industrial complex in this country that has been spread throughout this world, terrorizing the world based off of a reserve currency status that has spoiled us here in the United States. And this party's coming to an end. And I want to acknowledge that, acknowledge the wrongdoing, but I want to make it right. Right? Yeah, we can talk about wasting trillions of dollars in Iraq. And, every time I say, support the troops and everything, I'm a big time troop supporter. I love our veterans. Grew up in a military family, and nothing moves me like our military, and I support them 100%. But they've been used by a private banking cartel, and it's unfortunate. And so we got to rein that back in. So that's what we continue to pray for. That's what we continue to call out, right? And And then I just continue to talk about how we are broke, we are bankrupt, we don't have a choice. Nobody wants to address that we can't continue to send billions of dollars anywhere. Not for your program, not for my program, not for whatever makes us happy. And, you know, it doesn't matter what your feelings are, we're broke. You know, when your balance sheet's upside down, when it's bust, when you have negative cash flow, you know, that's the situation in the United States right now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here tonight. Okay, great Sunday session. Absolutely love coming live here, guys. And this is the only live show that we're doing on a weekly basis right now. The schedule's too tight, and so right now the only live show that we are doing is on Sundays. So I apologize. I know you guys love the lives. I was doing Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. We're just too busy right now with everything going on, so we've cut back to Sundays. But we're just going to continue to keep dropping content on a daily basis, and you know, I like when I have a little bit of extra time here to do a Q&A session, hang out with you guys. Do you think that XRP will be trending $3 to $5 in 2024 realistically? We can do $3 to $5 in a blink of an eye at any point in time. This year, next year, I think that we 3 to 5x the previous all-time high with ease, just like every other cryptocurrency that experienced the last bull run did, right? Ethereum, Bitcoin. Bitcoin in 2017 topped out at 20,000. During this last bull run, it topped out at 69,000. That's about a 3x. You look at Ethereum, it did the same thing. You look at all the other previous coins, the other major altcoins that have been around for both bull runs. They did a 3 to 5x from the 2017 bull run. So XRP should have done $9 to $15, right? Maybe 3 to 5x, yeah. $9 to $15 is what XRP would have experienced if it would have been set free for the last bull run. So $3 to $5, I mean, it's done with ease. Done with ease. And, you know, some people are going to want to sell a sliver at $5, and I'm not beating them up, right? I talk to folks that are 70 years old, right, that you know, have life events that are taking place where they need to just, you know, cash out some, right? I mean, think about this. Someone cashing out some XRP at the age of 70 might be what it takes to have them actually extend their life. It might take away the stress of their daily bills and everything else by being able to cash out $100,000 or $500,000 worth of XRP. That allows them to live out another decade instead of being stressed and literally dying in a few years. That's reality. So everybody's like, oh, I'm never selling any XRP ever. It's like, well, okay, that's great, man. But there are people in different situations. And so when I speak to hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people that see my content every month, I just say and use the term exit strategy because it rolls off the tongue better and people understand what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about just having balanced portfolios, being diversified amongst the assets. You know, we probably shouldn't have all of our money into crypto, right? I mean, you know, 90% of my wealth was in crypto until the last year or so when I started actually stacking cash, right? So, you know, and we're all different. I mean, some of us are young guys like me and you might be young bucks. We can go full degen. We can be traders. We can be NFT flippers. We can do whatever program we want because we got time to make it back up. That's a blessing and an opportunity, right? But that also it gets us into risk and that also gets us burned. So that's why I'm trying to build out the checklist so that I can vet out these liquidity pools, vet out these DeFi protocols. It's the same checklist that we make when we go to evaluate tokens. And that's why I can look at most projects in 60 seconds and say they're not addressing a real problem. And the problem that they are trying to solve is, or the problem that they're trying to solve is very small. I'm not interested. Same thing that we're going to develop, same checklist we'll be developing for the automated market makers liquidity pools for the XRP Ledger, and that's going to be massive. I'm worried. There's going to be a lot of people coming for your XRP, guys. We got to stay vigilant, and we got to be wary, and we got to have discernment. A lot of people coming for our XRP. I think there's going to be a lot of banks that are begging, saying, hey, yeah, come give us your XRP as collateral on real estate, as collateral on your business. Because if you fold, if you go bankrupt, we get to keep your XRP, and we get the business, and we get the real estate. Yeah. Thank you very much. So Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, Laura. I hope that I inspire. My mentor, Dan Payne, says that people only come to him for inspiration or desperation, and he hasn't seen an inspirated MFer in years, is how he says it. You either come to him out of inspiration or desperation, and he hasn't seen an inspirated person in a while. And, you know, I was talking with someone today too, one-on-one session, and I, you know, we're talking about how it's easy to get and fall for the FOMO, right? And we partially create it, but I've been backing it up. I'm explaining why XRP can go at any point in time and why I have my own FOMO about XRP. I needed to get my bags to a certain point, and then I keep on setting new targets because we've had 2 years in this lawsuit, and so I've been able to stack way more than I expected to, but that's what allowed me to sleep peacefully at night. Now people are coming in, and if you have a bag to allocate, say you have $10,000 to allocate towards XRP or any other asset for that matter, what I do is I ladder in and I ladder out of positions. So that means that I'm going to have 3 buy orders. I'm going to have 3 to 5 buy orders for the asset that I'm looking to enter in, right? So let's say I have $10,000. I'm going to have 5 buy orders where I'm going to allocate $2,000 at a time. That'd be 5 buy orders equals $10,000 at certain price points, right? And you know, right now it is tough because XRP is so dang volatile. So within 3 weeks, we could be at 90 cents, or we could be getting set up, which is what I think is happening right now, a bull trap rally, and they're about to dump this thing down again. That's what's coming for the rest of the space. The only way that XRP misses that is by being set free out of the lawsuit. And your guess is as good as mine on when that's going to be. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the super chats tonight. You guys made it rain tonight with all the support and all the love, and I really do appreciate that. You know, I'm just one guy here trying to put out as much content as possible. I got an amazing team behind me, a family behind me of members within our community that support us in different roles and aspects. But my team helps me get out all this content as well. And so I just appreciate everyone who supports this cause. The independent media organization that I've built out here, I think is having a real impact. And I just thank God for the opportunity. That's where it's at for me. I just thank God for the opportunity. You guys stay safe out there. There's a lot of scammers right now. I still have a lot of people impersonating me on every app. We have, and that team that I'm talking about, all the people that help me out, they're watching and vetting and trying to kick off and ban and block all of these spammers on every single platform. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which by the way, I almost am hesitant to even throw this out there, but I do have a Facebook and Instagram now for you guys. Go check it out, but just watch out for the scammers, okay? Watch out for the scammers, and I will never message you first, right? I may respond to a DM if you send me something interesting. I do respond to some DMs from time to time, okay? The only place I really check them is Twitter. So if you want to reach me by DM, it's Twitter. And I will never message you first, and I will never ask to invest your money, okay? When we're going to be putting together our private equity funds, you will know what that is, and that will be a completely separate deal. I will not be reaching out through DMs, cold DMs to folks to ask to trade for you. I will never be trading for anybody, okay? So just stay safe out there, stay vigilant. There's a lot of scammers. We're seeing the Atomic Wallet hack just took place. It's scary out there, right? For me, I got my options with my exchanges, got my options with my wallets. You can go to my website, get the LEPAL Titan wallet. The nice thing about the LEPAL Titan is it's 100% air gapped, and it also stores XDC, which is another critical part of why we got that one in our stack. In our stack of security measures, the LEPAL Titan stores XDC, 100% air gapped. It's a very solid wallet. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this session, folks, but I do appreciate everyone. It's been a pleasure here on the Sunday night session. If you guys can, it really helps out the channel, guys. Please smash that thumbs up on the way out, hit that notification bell, and then if you can, share this content far and wide. I was seeing today We're getting shared in the Telegrams. We're getting shared in the Discord groups. Keep on spreading this message to family, friends, and those you love and care about the most. Let's take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's been a pleasure. God bless you all. We'll see you in the next one.